everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks for watching that earwax removal video today. Oh my goodness, we have got an amazing one for you to watch today. I think this is the biggest piece of wax I've ever seen taken out of anybody's ear canal anywhere on the internet. I've never seen anything come out this big before. So anyway, let's get on with the wax removal. So what you can see here, this lovely patient came through feeling tremendously blocked up in both sides. What you can see with this particular piece of wax here is we've got this layer of dry skin that's sort of interwoven into this wax and kind of attached to the canal wall in places as well. So this is a tough old one to get out. Now you've got the Jobson horn. We've got the standard size ulnar tube in here at the moment, which is just sort of pulling all the wax away from the outer parts of the ear canal, bunching it into the center so I can get a good grip on that and then start to sort of wiggle this out of the ear canal. Now, what you can see is if you look underneath, you'll see that layer of dry skin there, which is embedded into the wax. So that's holding everything in place. So the suction just doesn't have quite enough power to pull this out. So I'm going to switch now to the Jobson horn. We just snuck over the top. What I'm hoping here is that we'll get so far into it and it'll pull the whole plug forwards. But what you will see happens is the plug does this funny thing. It sort of peels itself apart, so you end up with this central section of wax surrounded by this hard layer of wax and dry skin. So what I'm doing here is aiming for that layer of dry skin at the bottom to slide everything out, but that's all that's happening is it's just taking this softer central section of wax away. Imagine this like a toffee eclair or an armadillo, we've called it before, where you get this really tough outer section and this really soft section in the middle. So what I've got to do now we've taken that central groove out, is start to bring all the wax back into the center, unpeeling it from the canal wall, which is going to allow us to work this out. But you can see here it goes back a fair old way. So we're going to have to sort of use this wiggling motion here. And the reason we do that is to free up the skin and wax from all sides of the canal wall as we start to bring this down. You can see on the left-hand side where it's really attached there as well. So I'm going to pull all these bits into the middle, hold on to that central section and really kind of wiggle this. And I am wiggling my socks off here to try and get this out. You can see I've managed to get it quite loose on the front end. Now what I'm expecting when it's this amount of movement on the front end is for the whole thing to start moving forwards. But it's only moving at a snail's pace. It's really not moving forwards at any kind of any rate of knots here, which means that something's holding this in further back. Now, I'm going to try and keep with the suction just for a little bit longer. The reason being is if I try and scoop at this point with the Jobson horn, what's going to happen is it's just going to break this front end off. Now, I want to try and keep that front end as intact as I can and try and work it out of the canal. But you can see that layer of skin around the outside edge of this as I'm trying to pull this forwards. Now, I'll get it so far, which is just what's happened here, but now I can't. I've hit an obstruction, I've hit the back part of the ear, so I can't pull this forwards anymore without having to move it. So I'm going to have to use the Jobson horn at this point now, and the goal here is to try and make a scooping motion around to pull the wax around. But you can see as I start to do it, it starts to bring this skin from deeper in, so it starts to almost or unfold on itself here, but keep an eye on this as this plug starts to move. So now we've got a grip on that skin underneath. Watch this plug, keep your eye on it. Look how that comes out of the ear canal. I've got a grip here. As I lift, that is still coming out to the canal at this point. It's still coming out, and there, that was the point at which the end. But look how long this piece of wax is, huge. I have never pulled a piece of wax out of somebody's ear that long. I think, I won't spoil it for you, but I think it's the biggest one I've ever seen on any of the YouTube channel, from any of the guys on YouTube, or anywhere, in fact. I don't think I've seen anything bigger than that. So we're just gonna start peeling these little bits away from the outside edge. Now what's left in here, we've taken a massive plug out. We're still left with some wax behind. So this has gone pretty much front to back on the ear canal, all the way down to the eardrum. And there's a little bit of dry skin embedded in that. So I've just popped a bit of olive oil in here just to loosen this off. And out this comes. You can see it all getting sucked into the machine here. Now this isn't going to look pretty because obviously what we've had is this old wax stuck to the eardrum for a little while. So you are going to get these little bits of remnants around the outside edge. Now, before everyone jumps into the comment section saying, oh my goodness, you didn't clear it all out, there's loads left in there. What you're seeing there is a little bit of old oil, if you like, that's just sitting around the outside edge. And you might get tiny little dots of wax. You should have some wax in there. As long as the eardrum is clear, then that patient's going to hear so much better. They're not going to get blocked up. And those little pieces will all start migrating out with the natural skin migration as well from deeper in the canal. So this patient's ear canal, you'll see, looks lovely and healthy. I can see the eardrum there perfectly well. Patient hearing so much better. The difference in this patient when that plug came out was immense. You could just see almost if a weight had been lifted off this patient. They could instantly hear better, and just the relief on their face, it was just lovely to watch. It really, really was. Now, this is the patient's other ear canal, and the first thing you'll see here is that we've got a very narrow canal that's slightly twisted, so it's got this kind of shape to it, but we've got a canal itself that looks like this. So the entrance is like this and the canal itself is like that, which means that when we're trying to pull these pieces down, I'm having to hold the side of the canal open using the side of the tools here just to be able to pull these pieces out. But this is also a plug that's filled with dry skin and wax as well, and it's all coming away really well, but it's coming away in smaller bits because that's the only bits I can fit out. So as I'm trying to pull the plug forwards, it's unraveling. And that's a fair sized piece there as well. It's unraveling, but it's only these softer and slightly thinner pieces that are actually working their way down the canal to come out. Now you can see this much thicker, darker plug in here. It's a little bit harder as well. So I'm just going to work around the outside edge of this. You can see the dry skin getting sucked into the machine there. I'm trying to turn this piece of wax just to get a leading edge and just to move it down the canal a little bit. I know I can't get it out unless it breaks down. There you go. So you can see what I'm doing is trying to pull this section through the gap and then hold on to it with a suction and wiggle it back and forth. So what I'm doing is trying to walk it almost out of the ear canal. You can see that coming away there. There you go. Nice big plug. Let's have a look behind that. And there we go. You can still see there's more in here. So a pretty full ear canal on this side as well. So you can see how this patient would have been really, really struggling with their day-to-day hearing here, just having this amount of wax in there. So let's see if we can hold on to this section. Or just try to pull this down. I can see a little gap there. Can I get behind it? And will the ear canal entrance allow me to get the angle I need to scoop this around? It looks like it's coming forwards. But it just turned at the very last minute. So what you end up doing then is just taking the top layer off this particular plug of wax. So I'm going to go back in again. Now let's see if we can scoop again. That's looking more promising. Is it going to turn? Yes, it did. It just turned again as we got it through. So what I'm trying to do here is pull obviously a very wide piece of wax through a very narrow gap. And as it gets so far, it hits this obstruction. Now sometimes if you've just got enough of an angle behind, it'll pull the whole thing through. But in this case, what's happened is as it's tried to pull through, the angle wasn't quite there and it's actually spun the wax and taken the top layer off. So I'm going to go back in with some suction now. I've got to sort of wrestle with this bit because there's a lot of dry skin here. I've got to try and maneuver this through. You can see it does not want to come through very easily. Let's slow this video down a little bit. Let's see this coming away. There we go. Out that comes. So you can see it all just coming away nicely there. And luckily enough, it pulled that next section down through as well. Eardrum looking fantastic on that side. Really, really healthy textbook eardrum there. Just a little bit to tidy away just here. Let's get rid of those bits, some little sticky pieces just at the entrance to the canal, and a little bit of dry skin, so let's get rid of that. There we go. Let's take a look behind. You can see the eardrum looking really, really good. So this is what it looked like to start with, and this is what it looks like afterwards. Stay tuned for the shot of that piece of wax. Look at the size of that piece. Between 2 and 3 inches, that is the piece of wax we took away. That is, what's that, 3.5 centimeters, I think that is altogether. So we go from there to, actually, yeah, I think it's just over 3.5 centimeters. I have never seen a piece of wax that size come out of somebody's ear canal before. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, or have I got king earwax remover. Okay guys, well I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did voicing it over. If you did, then please let me know in the comment section below. You can always give us a thumbs up if you wanted to. But as always guys, take care of your ears, take care of yourselves, and take care of one another, and I shall see you again on Saturday. Take care guys, bye.